I'm Daniel, 34, and until 6 months ago, I genuinely believed I was in a stable, boring adult marriage, the kind people stop complaining about because nothing bad is happening. My wife, Laura, 32, and I had been together for 9 years, married for 5. No screaming fights, no dramatic breakups, no obvious red flags, just routines, inside jokes, and a shared calendar on the fridge. That night started like any other Tuesday. Laura had already gone to bed. She had an early shift at the clinic the next morning. She's a physical therapist. And I stayed up late finishing a proposal for a freelance client. Around midnight, my laptop died. Completely. Charger missing. I checked the living room, the kitchen, the car. Nothing. So I hesitated for a moment, then opened Laura's laptop. We shared passwords, always had. Transparency was never an issue. At least, I thought it wasn't. Her desktop loaded slowly. Pink background, neatly organized folders, work stuff, photos, taxes. I opened Google Docs to access my email and noticed something odd on the sidebar. A folder named Receipts. That alone wouldn't have meant anything, except it had a little lock icon next to it. Laura had never locked folders before. I told myself not to be weird, not to snoop, but something about that lock felt intentional, deliberate. I clicked it. Password required. I tried our anniversary date. Wrong. Her birthday. Wrong. Our dog's name. Wrong. That should have been my sign to stop, to close the laptop and go to bed. Instead, my chest tightened. I tried one more thing. Her old college nickname, the one she hated when I teased her about it. The folder opened. Inside were subfolders. Dates. Not our dates, just dates. I clicked the most recent one. What I saw didn't immediately scream affair. At first. There were screenshots of Venmo payments, Uber receipts, hotel confirmations, photos of meals, wine glasses, hotel room mirrors. Then I saw the selfies. Not explicit, not naked, just intimate. Laura, smiling in a way I hadn't seen in years. Head tilted, hair done differently, that look people have when they feel chosen. And in the reflection behind her, a man. Not fully visible, just a shoulder, a jawline, a watch. I sat there, frozen, the hum of the laptop fan suddenly too loud in the silent apartment. My first thought wasn't anger. It was confusion, because none of this made sense yet, and I still wanted it not to. I stared at the screen longer than I want to admit. My brain kept trying to organize what I was seeing instead of accepting it. Like if I could just file everything into neat little explanations, it would stop hurting. Maybe it's a friend, I whispered to no one. I clicked another folder, an older date. More of the same. Receipts, photos, screenshots, different restaurants, different hotels, same man. Always cropped just enough to keep him half hidden, like Laura was preserving a secret even from herself. Then I noticed something that made my stomach drop. The dates lined up with nights Laura told me she was working late or too tired to drive home. I scrolled further. There were screenshots of text messages. Not full conversations, just selected parts, like highlights. Him. I still can't believe you're married. Laura. I know. I don't feel like I am when I'm with you. I felt something inside me go quiet. Another screenshot. Him. Does he suspect anything? Laura. Daniel trusts me. He always has. That line hurt more than anything else in the folder. Because she was right. I did trust her. I leaned back in the chair and rubbed my face, trying not to make a sound. Laura was asleep in the bedroom, 20 feet away, breathing peacefully. I kept scrolling, even though my hands were shaking now. Finally, I found a document titled Ground Rules. That's when it stopped feeling accidental. The document was dated almost 2 years earlier. 2 years. Inside was a list, bullet points. No pictures with faces together. Never text when he's home. Delete chats weekly. Hotels only, no apartments. If caught, deny everything. I had to close the laptop. I stood up too fast, my chair scraping loudly against the floor. I froze, listening for movement from the bedroom. Nothing. Laura slept on. I walked into the kitchen and gripped the counter like I might fall over. My reflection in the dark window looked older than it should have, hollow. I didn't cry, not yet. I felt stupid. For every time I defended her to friends who joked about clinic affairs, for every time I ignored the distance between us because I thought it was just adulthood, for believing that calm meant safe. At around 2 a.m., Laura padded into the kitchen in socks. "Hey," she said softly, "why are you up?" I turned to her. She looked normal, sleepy, innocent, and for a terrifying second, I almost pretended I didn't know. Almost. Instead, I said, "Who is he?" Her face didn't change right away, but her eyes did. They didn't look confused. They looked calculating. "What are you talking about?" she asked. I swallowed. "The folder, Laura." She blinked once, then twice, and in that moment, before she spoke, I knew one thing for certain. This wasn't going to end with an apology. Laura didn't raise her voice. That scared me more than if she had. She walked past me, opened the fridge, and poured herself a glass of water like we were discussing groceries. "I didn't think you'd ever look in there," she said calmly. That sentence landed heavier than any confession. "So there is a there," I replied. She took a sip, then leaned against the counter. "I guess so." I waited for the rest. An apology, tears, panic. None came. "How long?" I asked. She hesitated for the first time, just a fraction of a second. "Almost 2 years," she said. I laughed, a short, ugly sound that surprised both of us. 2 years, I repeated. So basically half our marriage. "It wasn't supposed to be permanent," she said quickly. "It just filled something." There it was, the language people use when they don't want to say choice. "Who is he?" I asked again. "Ethan, 38. He's married too." Of course he was. I nodded slowly, like that information had somewhere to go. "Does she know?" I asked. "No." I felt my jaw tighten. "So you're both just lying to people who trust you." Laura crossed her arms, defensive now. "It's not that simple." "Then explain it to me simply, because from where I'm standing, you made spreadsheets and rules to cheat on me." She flinched at that. "I never stopped loving you," she said. "That's the part you're missing." I stared at her. "You don't make ground rules for something you don't plan to protect." Silence stretched between us. Then she said something I will never forget. "I didn't think you'd ever leave." I felt that sentence in my ribs. "Why?" I asked quietly. She shrugged. "You're steady. You forgive. You adapt." I realized then that my best qualities were the very things that made her feel safe betraying me. I went into the bedroom and sat on the edge of the bed. Our bed. Laura followed, standing in the doorway like a guest. "Are you ending it?" "With Ethan?" she asked. "I don't know." That was her answer. Not yes, not of course. "I need time," she added. I looked up at her. "You've had 2 years." She didn't argue. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay there listening to her breathing, wondering how many times she'd come back to this bed after leaving a hotel room smelling like someone else. By morning, I knew something else too. Even if she ended it, I would never unknow what I knew. And trust doesn't heal from that. The next few weeks felt unreal, like I was moving through my own life as a guest. Laura acted normal, too normal. She cooked dinner, asked about my day, laughed at a show we used to watch together. If I didn't know better, I would have thought nothing had happened, except now I noticed everything. Her phone never left her side. She angled the screen away from me. She showered longer. She dressed nicer for work. One evening, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I didn't touch it. I didn't need to. The damage was already done. A few days later, she sat me down at the kitchen table. "I'm going to keep seeing him," she said. Just like that. "I didn't want to lie anymore," she added, as if honesty now was some kind of gift. I stared at the wood grain on the table, tracing a crack with my finger. "So, you're choosing him?" I said. She shook her head. "I'm choosing me." I nodded slowly. "Then you're choosing a life without me." She went quiet. "I didn't think it would be this fast," she said. That night, I packed a bag. Not dramatically, no shouting, no throwing things. I folded my clothes neatly, grabbed my laptop, my toothbrush. When I reached the door, Laura said, "Where will you go?" I turned to her. "I don't know," I said honestly. "But not here." I stayed with my brother, Mark, 36, for a while. He didn't ask many questions, just handed me a beer and said, "Take the couch." Word got out slowly. Friends took sides in quiet ways. Some stopped calling, some suddenly became very available. Laura told people we grew apart. I didn't correct her. About a month after I left, I got a message on Facebook from Ethan's wife, Claire, 35. "Hi, I'm sorry to bother you. I think our spouses might know each other." My heart dropped. We met for coffee 2 days later. Claire looked exhausted. Not angry, just worn thin. She showed me messages, dates, photos, the same hotels, the same rules. Turns out Laura and Ethan had promised each other something else too, that if either marriage ended, they'd finally be together. Claire laughed bitterly when she said that. "He already moved out. He says he wants a fresh start." I felt sick. Not because Laura had chosen Ethan, but because I knew her well enough to know something Ethan didn't. Laura didn't want a life with him. She wanted an escape. And escapes don't last. 3 months later, Laura called me. I almost didn't answer. Almost. "Daniel," she said, her voice shaking, "can we talk?" I closed my eyes. "About what?" "I made a mistake." There it was. Ethan had moved in with her for exactly 6 weeks. Long enough for reality to arrive. "He's not who I thought he was," she said. "He's jealous. He checks my phone. He keeps asking if I'll do to him what I did to you." I didn't respond. "I miss us," she whispered. "I miss feeling safe." I let the silence stretch this time. "You didn't miss me," I said finally. "You missed the version of me that made your choices easier." She cried. I didn't. "I ended it," she said, "for good." "That's good. For you." "Does that mean—" she started. "No," I said gently. "It means I'm glad you're not lying anymore." After the divorce was finalized, I moved into a small apartment. Nothing fancy, but quiet. Claire and I still talk sometimes. Not romantically,
Just two people who understand a very specific kind of loss. Laura sent me an email last week. She said she's in therapy now, that she's learning why she needed secrecy to feel alive. I hope she figures it out. As for me, I learned something I wish I hadn't had to. Loyalty isn't proven by how much someone loves you when things are easy. It's proven by what they protect when they think you'll never find out. And trust? Trust doesn't break loudly. It breaks when someone realizes you were never afraid of losing them, just afraid of being alone.